is crazy.
Do you like it?
I like it.
This is a big compliment coming from you.
Remember?
Pull that closer to your mouth, Barry.
I will. Can they see me there?
You're perfect. There you are, right there.
Oh, Jesus. You have 17 cameras.
17 berries.
Man, I've got so much to talk to you about.
Let's start.
Did you, wait, tell me when you're ready to start.
We're ready. We're on. We just go.
We just go?
Yeah, no people get the flow with you.
They do?
Yeah.
They're probably wondering, what the fuck is this guy doing here? Who is this guy? No. Is this guy the homeless guy?
You're the best person to talk to about this stuff.
Listen, I just want your audience to know.
Yes.
How many podcasts have you done in this space right here?
I think you're 9.
9. Yes. It's unbelievable. For those of you who don't know, this house, okay, there's a word that you use. It's called palatial. And, essentially what Jamie's house is for most of your audience is this. So remember when your parents on the Sunday used to go out for a drive, and you drive through those neighborhoods that have the big, huge houses, and they drive by and you're like, ooh, and then you hear that phrase from your mom or your dad that you didn't want to hear. You see that beautiful house there? Yeah. We're never fucking going to live there. And let me tell you something. If you walk in this house of Jamie Kennedy's, you immediately say to yourself, I don't think I'm ever going to live there.
Stop it.
Jamie,
that's a huge compliment coming
Jamie,
from you.
Literally, I went to Boston Garden to watch the Bruins play. I think they could, the ring could be inside down. So he's got artwork that's like, I mean, it's incredible. It's like, I don't even know what to say. I'm so honored to be here. I can't believe I made the cut and is your 9th guest in this beautiful space.
Made the cut. Come on, Barry. This is first of all, I'm very touched that you say that. And I'm older. I decided I got to triple down on LA. So I got a deal. It is a big place, but I want to make it what we are in this space right now, in our world, in our creative community. I want to make it a live work. And I'm down the street from anything I need to go to.
I don't mean to get you canceled or anything,
but
I mean, literally, any woman that walks in this place, if the dress does not fall to the floor in 67 seconds, then it's you.
Why 67?
It's you, pal.
67 seconds. I see what you did there. Barry!
Yes.
So good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you. It's such an honor that you invited me because I'm not on your side of the business.
But you're my side of the business maker. So I think people know you, but if they don't, you're a world-class. You are what I would call the last. You're the last, man. You're the last of the breed. A breed that really didn't exist that much, but we were raised to believe it did. For everybody who doesn't know, you are a true manager. And what I mean by that is you always went solo. You always saw talent. You could see the rawest form of a talent. And if the guy just had a good punchline, an interesting hook, a good look, a positive attitude, maybe his impression was 80% there, but you could see how it's going to be 100. Your gift is your eye for talent and patience and polisher. I've never, ever in the history of my 35 years been doing this, seen anyone so attentive to their client as you.
Oh,
ever to the club. Watch them go with Barry. Watch him go to the lab when someone's getting ready for tonight's show, and then do the set at the factory, then do the set at the OR, and then do the set at the main room. By the end of the night, that set will evolve, and they'll do it 3 more nights in a row, and then they'll do tonight's show on Friday. And that's what you do, amongst many other things. And no one does that, Barry. No one.
I love it. I saw you on stage. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was around 35 years ago for the first time.
Wow. Really?
And you were an incredible, incredible performer. I saw you at Stand Up New York. I remember the owners was Carrie Hoffman and Suzanne Hoffman.
Yes. Very
And
wonderful people.
you were doing an audition that could have been for Saturday Night Live or something like that, where I had a couple of clients on that audition for SNL. You auditioned for SNL, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how long ago was that?
32 years ago.
Okay, so that's when I saw you for the first time.
Wow.
And I've always, I want to share this with your audience because Jamie, you were already represented at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was the kind of person I wasn't the kind of person who would poach people or walk up to people and do that. But that happened to me a lot, but I just, it wasn't my thing. I didn't think it was the right thing to do. I felt if I was going to work with people, it would happen organically and I got lucky and
Not lucky. You have an eye.
But I saw you and I thank you, but I saw you and, for those of you in the audience watching and listening to this, I don't know if you guys know this because I have a lot to talk to Jamie about today on this podcast, and it's up to him whether he'll edit it out or not.
I'm here.
Because every time I sit across from Jamie, I'm actually he's one of the most challenging artists to understand how he does his art. And I've constantly thought about him and how he operates in this business. I'm not talking about like behind the scenes. I'm not talking about with other managers or agents. I'm talking about how he just does his craft. And so to go back 32 years ago for your audience, the Jamie Kennedy that you see on stage today when you go to a stand-up show there's not even any evidence of that Jamie Kennedy that I saw at Stand Up New York. Mm-hmm. And this is what I really, and I know you're interviewing me, and I'm just fascinated by.
Oh, go with
because the person that went on at Stand Up New York was almost an actor doing a character of a comedian who is animated and energetic and takes the stage and like it's like this is my room and you all sitting here are leasing the chairs. And this young kid went on with this bravado and this confidence and this power and this energy that was like, the only thing I can describe it is like a combination of a little bit lower energy to Robin Williams to a little bit around the acting out on stage of like a Sebastian Maniscalco with kind of like the enthusiasm of Bert Kreischer. As a young man on stage, you were just full of so much bravado and confidence and power, and it was insane. Now, in all fairness, what you didn't have there.
Here it goes. I'm about to cry. Now let's get to the material.
No, you can cry. What you didn't have there was you didn't have the premises and the phraseology and the punchlines that were going to take you to the promised land because you were too young. But
23.
But what I did notice is something, and those of you who study comedy, and look, there's 100 different things to make a great stand-up comedian. But in my estimation, there's 3 things that are really, really important. There's when you walk on the stage, you take the fucking stage. You are the owner of the stage. The second thing, which seems kind of odd, but it's your voice, and the voice is part A and part B. The voice is your actual voice that comes out of your vocal cords, and part B is your voice, your voice, your point of view, what your thoughts on the world as a modern day philosopher. And then the last thing is your material and how it's constructed, the lyrics of the song and the composition. So it's the premise that's highly original. It's the phraseology when delivering the jokes where you're hearing phrases that nobody says. And then the punchline that the audience has the puzzle on the table and they can't figure out how to solve the puzzle before you deliver the punchline. And so you had, number one, you owned the stage. Number two, you had a great voice back then. And number three, the part B of that, you didn't have the point of view per se because you weren't old enough. And so you really didn't have that, but you did have sort of that thing where you had the point of view of your material was about being a young person, a youthful in the world. So I'll give you that. You did have that. And the only thing that I saw that you didn't have as much was that thing that you saw in, let's say, the young people who you respected at the time, like the young Chappelle. Or people like that, where you're like, how does Stephen Wright?
Chappelle already had that stuff.
He had the thing where you walk on stage, he had the voice, and the voice.
And at 21, he had all the jokes and premises and originality.
But that's rare. And there's exceptions to the rule. You know, because I think comedy is based in truth for the most part. 98% of the comedians that are successful, whatever they say on stage, you need to believe that it's truthful, even if it's a Princess Bride truthful, where you're like, well, this could happen, you know. But like when Chappelle does the crack baby routine, you're like I guess a 4-year-old baby in a diaper could sell crack on the corner. You know,
that's what's the brilliance of Dave, is that he can suspend your belief to it's possibly true. Yeah. Exactly.
And so, but then there's the other comedians that their lane is not based in that, and they're the other small percentage, like, you know, like Stephen Wright. You know, what does he say? I have the oldest typewriter in the world that types in pencil. No, you don't. I went to a restaurant that said breakfast anytime. I ordered French toast during the Renaissance. Well, no, you didn't. Rodney Dangerfield. I was an ugly kid. My dad used to tie a pork chop around my neck to get the dog to play with me. No, you didn't. No, he didn't.
No.
But that lane that you've created, that fucking fantasy world, I'm in. I'm all in on that. So that 2%, those people I'm not talking about, because those are the geniuses who are able to do that. And also, not to get long-winded, but this is cool too, for those comedy aficionados, it's like the one-liner comedians, they have a paradox that's good and bad. Number one, amazing, they write these jokes and they always kill. The reason why they always kill, the audience can't figure out the puzzle.
100%.
How can you figure out the puzzle when Rodney says, I went to the bartender, I said, surprise me, he pulled out a picture of my wife. 4 seconds. How do you solve the puzzle?
Exactly.
And so they can kill really hard, but they have to write 7 jokes a minute.
So, 100%. 100%.
And so, and for you were more of a storyteller. And so, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I think this is important for your audience. So why you're so confusing and challenging to me is because I believe and I'll say this, when you really want it, you're one of the greatest actors of all the comedians that exist in the world today. I say when you really want it, because I know what's troubling about our profession is that there aren't a lot of roles that you can get that are the roles you want to get. And sometimes you take a role and it's like, I don't know if I can make this one as special as I made the last one, which is the answer is a lot of times you can't. But for your audience, just from me, my observations, you're one of the best actors of any comedian out there. And there's, when you think about it, and I would say, even though I don't know if other people would say this, but we all know there's you can count them on half a hand, the people who are great actors. Mm-hmm. And you are. And so, and when you play a role, you fit to any role you play. But the odd part is, somewhere from 32 years ago until now, you decided to be the guy who subtly takes the stage and who subtly wins over a crowd and who owns the crowd with a quiet persona and a more like, you're here to see me, it's sold out, you're here to see me, you paid to see me, I'm going to give you a fucking great show, but I'm not going to tap dance for you motherfuckers up here. I'm going to just do it the way I feel like doing it, my way. And the guy that I first saw was the guy, he still was doing it his way, but he was like, hey, listen, these people are married. Some of them, are don't even have money to, who knows, to pay the gas bill, but they came to see me. So the Jamie, and don't jump over and strangle me, the Jamie that I saw 32 years ago go on that stage was the guy, like Sinatra would say, somebody asked Sinatra, why do we wear tuxes all the time, the opening act? Why do we wear tuxes, Frank? I'll tell you why we wear tuxes. Because those people scrounged up all their fucking money so they could see us and see a show. And God damn it, we're going to give them the fucking best show that they have right now. We're going to give them energy. We're going to give them power. We're going to give them everything we have. We're going to sweat up there. And that's why we wear the tuxes. Mm-hmm. And so that's an anomaly to me about you, because you can go into any part. I could give you a script tomorrow for something where you're functionally special needs. And the next day you will walk in and you will, people will be like, what the fuck just happened? It's just insane. How did he create that character like that? Whatever. But I feel like sometimes when you go on stage and you still, the crowds love you. But it almost feels like, well, what? Why? He can play anything he wants up here, but he's choosing to play the guy who is safe and comfortable in his own environment. And I've still been challenged with that every time I see you, because and your audience should know this, I swear to you, you're the only guy I know like that, who has all these different gifts and all these different, like, you go in this house here, okay? This isn't a house that's put together by fleas holding hands. This isn't a house that is put together without thought. This podcast studio is, I'll just tell you right now, this is my 4th podcast today.
Which is crazy.
Okay? And there is nothing that compares to how beautiful and the level of detail that you put into this podcast studio.
Well, that's Kyle. He's the designer.
Yeah, but he's the designer, and somebody has to say yes to the design.
Yeah, I love it, obviously.
And so, and no disrespect to you, Kyle, because it's amazing. But the point being is that everything here is first class. And every time I meet you, you're first class. Every role that you take on, it seems like you just put, when it's a role that you really love and not one, because respect outlasts cash a lot of times or whatever. You bring it. And on stage, there's some kind of persona that says, I'm going to let them come to me. They're here to see me. I'm going to let them come to me. And you're the only guy I know that does that. And tell me if I'm wrong.
First of all, I have so many emotions right now. I didn't know I was going to have an afternoon therapy session, but I love you. I mean, this is, that was the most beautiful compliment. Thank you. Like, thank you. Thank you. 80% of that I don't have to swallow because it was just beautiful, like giving me flowers. And there's 30% of it that I do have to swallow. So let me play it back for you. It's so crazy, first of all, that also what you're amazing at is that your ability to take a conversation, go off on 2 tangents, and go back and remember it. That's a skill. When I went off SNL, I went absolutely berserk. It was me, Jenica Berger, Molly Shannon, Janine Garofalo had already gotten it and left. No. And I think this was the year they brought in Sarah Silverman. It was easy. I was like one of 2 dudes. It was at the comedy club. I had impressions. I went characters. Nothing else, like you said. And Chris Farley was... I do remember meeting you that night, and you were so sweet and encouraging. Chris Farley, sweet, encouraging.
Chris Farley and Lauren were in the crowd.
Lauren, he's a tough cookie, but I didn't bug him.
But Chris was laughing his ass off.
I can't believe that.
I remember that. He was laughing his ass off at you.
Come on, man. That's making me go cry. It's a huge compliment.
And Jay Mohr has this quote about Chris Farley in his book, and you know this. And then when you see Chris Farley laugh, Jay said, he is a wrecking ball of joy.
He so is. He so is. To get him to laugh and to grab my hand and he's like, yeah, it was great, man. Really, it was so good, man. Like he made me feel, and it was later. It was like we were done at like 11:30. It was like how comedy should be, and he made me feel so loved that if I worked, it worked. If I didn't, I didn't. But I gave my shot. Now, clearly, 2 days later, I got the call, and Lauren said I didn't do enough political impressions, which no one told me to prepare. And that was it. And I thought the whole angle was they were going to sneak me in as a young, raw piece of talent, get the woman they wanted. Molly had gone the year before and didn't get it. So this was her second time. That being said, the actor on stage is truthful. I'm so honored what you say. Barry, I did that audition, okay? I had gone through different things. I had done every open mic. I did that audition, and I remember sitting in front of the Comedy Store in like June of 1994 after getting like Please Allow, Jamie Kennedy, 5 minutes. And I looked up and I said, well, I didn't get SNL. What am I going to do? And then I went and I signed up again for open mic after SNL. And I was completely lost. And what you're saying is so beautiful. I think there's certain things I have questions about, but as you become your own person, yes, do I give it my all every time? No. Should I? Yes. It's not. Are you saying I'm late? It's like maybe you're saying I'm lazy, but I don't even know how to answer that because I think there's a lot of truth to it, and I've given it my all, like through my shows and my roles. I think part of me would give it his all so much And I was rewarded in so many ways, but part of me did not get rewarded, and the town did not care. And when you go crazy and the town doesn't care, it takes the wind out of your sails.
It's unbelievable what you just said. It's the reason why I'm speechless, and I'm embarrassed that your audience has to have me speechless. But again, not to go back to the home, but let's just forget the home. You just moved in here, and there is no less than probably 500 pieces of memorabilia from Jamie's career. Probably 1,000. And I'm sitting across from you, and you just told me that a part of you wasn't rewarded. What part wasn't rewarded?
Meaning, no matter how big of a movie I was in, or how respected that movie was, I had to dance my dick off after time and time and time and time. And I always planned on dancing. And at some point, you're like, I got a body of work here. Can we just have a meeting? And I was so spoiled in the beginning of my career because I worked with auteurs. Okay. Do you know what it's like to go and here? So when you see me from there, things happen, whatever. It was your clients, owned MTV. Lisa Berger, love you, gave us a lot of breaks. Harlan had a holding deal. Dave had a holding deal. Jay Mohr, I think, had a holding deal. And Jim Brewer, which you probably represent, had a holding deal. I was added to that mix as a pilot presentation. I did this whole thing. It didn't get picked up. She was great. But from there, Tammy Billick, amazing, saw it, gave me to Ron, God rest his soul, who's doing the Married with Children spinoff called, you know what it is, Unhappily Ever After. From there, Jenica Berger, my ex-girlfriend, pushed me in front of Stan Latham. And I got to work with people. Tammy casted Ellen. Jeremy Piven was, before he was Jeremy Piven, Jolie Fisher, all in these movies and these shows. And Ellen was like, this guy's funny. I did one episode. She goes, give him another line. So I did that. Then she's like, that guy's funny. Bring him back. I was raised under Ellen, okay, who is one of the most unique, creative, just funny. I don't think she curses. Just funny. I don't care what people say about her and all this stuff. That's a different, whatever their experience is. My experience is as a woman who gave me a shot, and I asked her, I said, why are you so giving? And she goes, because if you're funny, the whole show's funnier. And I was like, that is so secure, right? How many people do you meet like that, right? So I started doing stuff, and then when I got my first movie, I auditioned for Baz Luhrmann at the Chateau. And it wasn't anything. It was just like he came in, he saw me running around his room. He had a camera, his assistant. He was like, shout this line, shout this line. And then he said, do you think you'd have a good time in Mexico? And I said, I think so. And every week he'd call and he says, I like that guy. I like that guy. And he kept telling me, agent. Boom. I got the role working. Leo's about to become a superstar. You know, Dash is blowing up, John Leguizamo. But he's like you. He curates us. Wes Craven, the same thing. I think you're really interesting. Eventually get the role. He curates us. What do you want to try? Tony Scott. Hey, little motherfucker. Yeah, you gotta fucking go. Like, let's go. David O. Russell. 2 roles I read. 9 o'clock, Warner Brothers. At night. Go take a piss. He goes, that's either one. You're not right for these. CIA gave you the wrong fucking sides. Take this one. Take a piss. I'm taking a piss. Hits me in the back 20 minutes later. You memorize it yet? I mean, these are the rooms I grew up in. These are real auteurs. Ben Younger, Antoine Fuqua. Give me more. You know what I mean? Like David, I mean, I can't stop naming them. They saw us like you. That's why you were last. And they molded us. And they saw something raw. I watched David and George Clooney. That was a legendary fight I almost got into. But that was nothing to me. Frank Oz, Miss Piggy, Yoda, a million things. It took me under his wing. Steve Martin. So all of these people, by the time I was 29 years old, had given me a lot of confidence. And they were so encouraging to be myself. So when I would go out and then read for a guest spot and TV people were overthinking everything, it got discouraging. I'm not saying I'm not rewarded. I've had a great life and I have a great life. But what I mean is I've gotten blessed by so many people, and our business, and you have to admit this, became the land of overthinking. And I'll give you a great example. 2019, I'm reading for a TNT show. I had a TNT in the morning for like this director that did a lot of coke. Think of somebody in our business, you know, and he's got 2 strippers, and he's like, I don't know, she came over here last night, she died, I don't know, she was a crazy bro, whatever. People are laughing. It's like season 7. It would have been like a cool, like 3 arc, right? Tape. Oh, Jimmy Kennedy's on a TNT drama. I then go in the afternoon and have a meeting with James Gray, the casting director, and his wife. And he spends 20 minutes just talking to me. Find out what I like, what I don't like. In a bungalow, having a coffee. Want some coffee? All right, you want to try some stuff? Okay, try this then. Don't say that. What would you say? Well, how would you say that? You like Brad Pitt? You think you can roll with him? You know what I mean? Like, this is, and I was like, oh God, this is like 1999 again. Like, I'm dealing with somebody who has complete, and the casting director loved me. So artistic. I go home. The next day, TNT calls my agent, goes, Jamie is great, but he's too on the nose. And he says, but James Gray just offered you the role. So I had a week of scenes with your boy. He was only with me one day. Jay Mohr, who was in the movie. And Brad Pitt. So all my scenes were Brad Pitt. And in between them, I would see Jay, and Jay goes, what are we shooting? I go, I think yours over here. Jay, you're shooting the Mars part. I'm in the other part of Mars because Jay was the entertainer on Mars. Incredible. And this was like, if the movie was the way, I didn't see it, it was too painful. It was Apocalypse Now in space. And I was like Dennis Hopper, that role. Anyway, my part totally got cut. And I was so bummed. Because it was, you know, how our town goes, Jamie Kennedy, Brad Pitt. Literally, I just showed Brad Pitt around for 3 days, like Mars. It was amazing. So what's my point? My point is, you're right, but you're not totally right, but you're right. Because when you get used to being your audience, you can get lazy, which is not right. And you sell tickets, which is you get lazy on it and stuff like that. And I do get caught up in other things. Can I be lazy? For sure. Do I have a lot of talents to use as a performer? Knock on wood. I believe so. Thank you for saying that. But also, it's such a big thing to say, and it's hard to quantify the answer because my beliefs changed, the town changed. But I agree with you that when audiences pay, they should get the best show of the show. But there is you know, Marty Lisak, who was my agent forever, one of the greatest guys in the world.
Incredible.
You know, he said, get down to that factory every night and work on your shit. And I said, well, I want to act more. And he said, get down there and work on it. He goes, you got a voice. And I would do it. And to me, it's hard to say this, and I won't say this. I don't like to put lists on because it's different, but it's hard. To me, it's hard to say these things. Well, what is comedy, right? Well, if you're going for the funniest, I think it's really hard to argue that Eddie Murphy was not the funniest comedian of all time. Like, the funniest, right? You just can't stop laughing. Like, and I put Pablo Francisco up there. It's just one of the funniest, just funny.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But for someone who makes you think and is so deep, and the deepest is George Carlin. You know, and then I put Bill Burr right up there with him, you know, taking the craziest premises and making them
Truly
insane. So I'm like, so when I looked at Carlin, and Marty's like, get your Carlin in you, got some little thing in there. And I was like, wow. So I wasn't trying to be, you know, dancers in, because I was getting my brain is, and that's where I'm still at. But Carlin also did like rat shit, bad shit, dirty old twat, 69 assholes tied in a knot, hooray, lizard shit, fuck. I mean, he was loud. He acted out shit. He would have a shit joke along with a premise about the government. So there's a lot I could say. Yes, you are correct, though. You're not wrong about any of it, but it wasn't on purpose. And there's some money when it comes into play. You get a little lazy. The town is actually doing 15-minute spots I don't like to do. I like to be able to do time, but everyone, you know, you got a lineup. Every lineup now is the Avengers. And everyone's got out, you know what I mean? The whole business has changed. But you're right. I don't know how to respond, but you are right. And it's beautiful that you said that.
I don't know if I want to be right,
but wait, do you think like you really think? First of all, you call me an artist, which is really sweet of you. But do you really think I'm that confusing? Do you feel like I'm like squandering or something?
It's interesting that you define what I said by squandering.
Well, Sandy, what's her last name? Sandy, you know her? She used to open for me sometimes. Beautiful woman. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. She was a Raiderette.
Can I just tell you in your audience?
And she would tell me to dance and do more dancing.
No. You're gonna love, your audience is gonna love this. Please don't lose your place though. What he just said just reminded me of something.
This is a great, because we're having deepness. People better watch this.
So I meet Gene Simmons, and he invites me to his house. And I asked him what his most memorable experience in his career was involving a woman.
Oh.
Now, that's a general question, and it could be answered any way possible. Mm-hmm. And I never knew how he was going to answer, but he was just talking about women throughout the meeting, you know, so I just asked him. And he's told me the story. He said that when he was doing a show later on in Kiss's career at Madison Square Garden, he always loved New York because he could go to the grocery store at 4 o'clock in the morning and get whatever he wanted. Makeup's off, and he's doing it. So he's in the grocery store and he hears, Gene. And he's looking around. He can't see who's calling him, whatever. He's doing some more shopping. Gene. And he's looking around. He can't find the video. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Gene. And then he just stares straight ahead, and at the end of the aisle, there's a woman with one of those walkers with the tennis balls on the bottom, and she's coming around, and she's coming towards him. She's like, Gene, you remember me? And he's like, no, honey, I don't remember you. 1973, Brendan Byrne Arena. I was in the front row. Your bouncers brought me backstage, and you fucked me on the couch in the dressing room before the show.
And what did he say?
It was just,
I'm pretty
shocked.
sure that he told me not just a mother and not just a daughter, a grandmother. So he started with that, and it could be that lady. He did a grandmother, then when the mother grew up, the mother came to the show, he did the mother, and then when the daughter. So, I mean, that's not surprising. That's so funny.
But anyway, I'm not talking about you squandering. What I will say this, though, if you'll allow me to speak freely.
No, I won't. Go ahead.
All right.
Speak freely.
This is like
I didn't expect it to go like this, but I like it.
I just want you to know, in this studio, this is like literally the control room of the Super Bowl in here. It's unbelievable. It's incredible.
I gotta monetize it.
You'll do anything you want. But I think that when I think of you, I think of somebody who, I mean, the canvas is like wide open. You know, it's like it's unbelievable. I mean,
Thank you.
think about it. Is there a skill set that you haven't exhibited to the business?
I'm not an artist, and I'm not a musician.
Okay, so you don't do music.
No, but I can sing.
And you don't draw things.
Yeah, no. But everything else. I mean, I
So-
don't really play instruments either.
So let's analyze this if you don't mind.
I like it, but I got a lot of questions for you, but go for it.
Yeah. The 100% pie that we talked about of all the comedians in the country. Okay?
Mhm.
Let's do it this way. How many comedians have worked with the people that you listed?
Not many. Not many. I thought about that. Not many at all.
Okay. How many comedians have had their own show where they get to host it and they get to play characters and they get to prank people?
Very rare. Very
Okay.
rare.
All right. How many comedians have acted in, I believe you've been in over 30 movies?
More than that, but yeah.
How many do you know?
Not many.
All right. I believe you've done over 150 or 200 episodes of television.
Probably. Did you do
How
research?
many comedians? I do a lot of research. How many comedians you know have done that?
There'd be more comedians that have done that. Have they done that many? I don't know.
Correct.
And now the younger group wouldn't care about it.
Great. And now let's go to the final question. How many comedians out of that 100% pie have done all of the things I've mentioned?
Together.
Zero. Maybe if there's 5, it's a miracle. Okay? Maybe if there's 10, it's a fluke. So you're in rarefied air. So now you have the opportunity to do anything that you want. Anything you want. I know it doesn't seem that way.
No, I feel
But
like
you could put together you could write a screenplay, which you probably have tons that you're blowing the dust off of in your office as you're moving, where there's an incredible character with an incredible arc for yourself and great roles for people who you know, and you met so many people along the way that literally you could put together a movie in what I would say seconds.
Hold on, I have to jump in. First of all, again, I love you. You're very complimentary. I do say that. Someone said this to me the other day, Chad. He said, dude, what haven't you done in the business? And I pride myself on being able to have done so much different stuff. I even had a record deal at Warner Brothers, and I wrote a book. So I'm fortunate. And it's a Gemini in me. I believe David Lynch, God rest his soul, he's one of the model artists because he did so many things. He was even a painter. So listen, there's more talented people. I think you know everyone who's talented though, obviously. But there are more talented people that are getting the thing is that Barry, you don't think I've done all this? I try to put movies together. How many scumbags are in our business? You try to raise the money. How many people fall through? Then you can make the movie. Then how do you get distribution? You try to get distribution. They shelve it. There's so many things. I'm not taking no for an answer. Plus then we had COVID. Plus then all this stuff happened. And my beliefs have changed. The world is wild. And you're not wrong. But to act like we're going to go pre-2019 and be like, here we are again. Let's do a sitcom. And let's do a rom-com. What's the last rom-com you saw, Bear? When's the last comedy you saw, Bear? Talk to me. When have you seen comedic stars just blow up in the movies? I mean, the whole business has shifted. You have to admit this.
I know, but who shifts the business? Artists shift the business. Geniuses shift the business.
We should, but there's a lot of bean counters.
Okay, so fuck the bean counters.
And then the audience shift the business when they consume what you are. But I mean, if you're trying to sell a comedy at Paramount.
Wait a second, stop. You know that old adage, and your audience will know it.
My audience. You love my audience.
I love your audience because they love you. What's the thing?
I haven't asked you one question I wanted to ask.
Is it you got plenty of time. Kyle, and he's back there. He's getting so pissed off. He just got a 7-day waiting period for a handgun. But what's the? It's the dog. The dog with the collar is fed and
Pavlov.
And this
They shocked the dog.
No, let me look. So the dogs normally have a collar. They have a master. They're fed. They're rested. Whatever. And the wolf has no collar, is starving, and searching for food and whatever. But when the wolf runs into the dog still chooses its life because he doesn't want to wear the fucking collar. He doesn't want anybody to be his master. And so when you say, what am I going to do, sell it to Paramount? Forget these people. Forget everybody. It's just we're just talking about you. I don't even care if you have a crew that shoots things on their iPhone. It's like you have so many relationships and you have so much comedy in you, and you're so, I mean, there's so many things that you do, and comedians look up to you. Young comedians look up to you, and imagine. I just went to the 30th anniversary of Jerry Maguire with Jay Mohr and Cameron Crowe were there. And you look at the movie, if you really study the movie, it's Tom Cruise and all these unknown people, Donna Logue, Renee Zellweger, Jay Mohr, who else? The guy
Ari Spears,
the guy with the jazz tapes. Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't that known. But not that well known. Bonnie Hunt.
Mm-hmm. A lot of comedians in that movie.
And so it's like, and Toby Huss.
Wow.
And so Jerry O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
And a person, Cameron, giving these people the opportunity, just like those auteurs gave you the opportunity. And what I'm just suggesting you try on is that you're a guy who's an auteur, and there's a ton of brilliant people out there who are looking to be mentored and brought into this business by somebody who has the wherewithal and the knowledge and the skill and the power that you do. And I would love to see you direct one of your projects that you've written from the past and look at all of them and maybe go through a rewrite from a draft you have in the past, get a think tank together and of friends of yours and punch it up. And I would love for you to find like this skeleton crew. Fuck everybody else. Just do your own thing. And what's happening? What's going on here? Yeah, Jamie Kennedy's making a movie. He is? Where's he got it? No, he's got it doing it himself, and he's cast all these people, and he's directing it, and he wrote it, and he's editing it. And he's, choosing the music in it. And it's like, holy shit, he is?
Okay, so stay there. Make my movie. I'm a part of a movie. I have a very small cameo in it with a really great cast that I helped put together because I helped find the money and stuff. And so that I do this off and on.
You help find the money for somebody else and not your own project.
I will, but this is an excellent script. And it could get festivals. But let's say you're correct. You're correct. So make my own movie, which I've done a few times. So I'm saying, I make my own movie. I can do it. And then it's got to be seen, Barry. It's got to be seen.
If you know as well as I do, if you have your way and you have your focus and you're as extraordinary as you know you are, get a helmet, buddy.
I love you, and listen. I mean, if my ego didn't need inflating, it sure got it today, and I love you for this. And you're right. You know what? It's so much I could say to this, but you are right. I think I question a lot of things right now, and you're right. And I'm not into drugs. I'm not, I don't have any personal mental. I mean, I'm crazy, but I don't have.
But this is what happens with people.
No.
It's like their mind. If their mind is this,
yeah.
what defines somebody who's successful and not successful? There's two things that happen in your mind. I mean, there's only two things. There's positive thoughts
and negative
and
thoughts.
there's negative 100%.
thoughts. 100%.
So the ones that push the negative thoughts to the corner of their mind are the ones that are successful, and the ones that keep the negative thoughts swirling around in there.
You're sitting on a positive thought. This house is a positive thought.
That's why
I know.
God, I want to stand up here and jump on this couch like Tom Cruise professing his love to Katie Holmes. This house, listen to me. I'm gonna go crazy. Listen to me, Jamie. Listen to me. Audience, listen to me. This house, you don't just snap your fingers and take a piss and the house appears like this. You work hard, you search, you fight, you're doing inspections, you're looking for what wall to put something on, how to design it. You're like, I mean, this is like a masterpiece that you made. You don't do that with no effort.
No, I appreciate you. And you're right. But you have multiple clients that have done this.
So what?
I know. So I'm impressed that you're so impressed, and I'm very touched. Listen, everything you're saying is right. There are some questions I have for you, though.
I'm listening, man. Am I allowed to say one thing for 20 seconds?
Yes, I want to say something.
Regarding what you just said. Dane Cook got this beautiful...
Dane Cook's got one of the best houses in L.A.
So
you got to go there all the time.
Beautiful house. But in the beginning, he got this beautiful apartment, the La Fontaine, that was 2 stories high. And it was incredible. And Patrice O'Neill comes to visit him. I didn't know. And he knocks on the door, and Dane opens up the house, and Patrice comes in. And Dane told me this is the first thing Patrice said. He just looked all around. Fucking Barry Katz, that motherfucker. Anyway, go.
Wait. I want to, let's just, so people understand what you have done. Keep it simple. You had a comedy club in New York called Boston Comedy Club.
Yes, sir.
And I would say, well, are you from Boston?
Yeah, well, I'm from Longmeadow, Massachusetts, but I went to Boston University. I owned comedy clubs in Boston. And then my wife passed away at 23, and I just, that feeling that happens when people are always coming up to you and saying, "How you okay? You okay?" And I just got in my car, and I went to New York, and I found a place with the help of a comedian named Eddie Brill.
Of course. And
on West 3rd and Thompson, around the corner from the Cellar and the old Village Gate. And they listened to me, and I don't know, it seems like a bad idea now, the Boston Comedy Club, but it turned out to be an amazing place.
The BCC in New York City, probably called the Boston Comedy Club because you can argue that some of the funniest people ever have come out of the Boston area, which I would argue that is true. So the club, how long did it last?
I had it for 17 years, and then, ironically, when I was started managing Dane and things, took off so crazily, he was from Boston. That's when I decided, hey, I'm going to give it back to the people at the building or whatever, and then it went out of.
So club's gone?
Yeah.
So, how many people? Tell me who I'm leaving out. At one time, you discovered or managed Louis C.K.?
My first client ever.
Wow. Jim Brewer.
Yes.
Jay Mohr.
Yes.
Jeff Ross.
Yes.
Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Sarah Silverman?
Sarah Silverman worked at the club, but I didn't represent her. But when she used to come out to L.A., she used to stay with Jay and I.
Neil Brennan worked the door?
He was the doorman. Timothy Oliphant was the doorman at the other club.
Okay, so you had 2. I'm leaving Patrice O'Neill.
I did help Patrice, but I probably didn't officially manage him, but I got him a lot of gigs.
Burr
I managed.
Nick Swartzen.
Yep.
That's 11 absolute fucking legends. Give me more.
Kreischer.
Bert's 12.
Wanda Sykes.
13.
Jim Gaffigan.
14.
You want me to keep going?
Yes.
Daryl Hammond.
15. Not just managed, discovered. cultivated, and then managed. That's 15.
Felipe Esparza.
16.
Jeff Dye.
17.
I work with Ken Jung.
18.
There's so many. I mean,
listen.
There's so many.
There's so many. Give me one female.
Well, there was Wanda Sykes.
Wanda was one.
And then Whitney Cummings.
Whitney, did you manage her?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had 3 television shows on the air when I worked with her.
Her sitcom.
Yeah.
2 Broke Girls. What was the third?
She had a show with Chelsea Handler. You also forgot Dane Cook on there.
Oh God, Dean. Yep. Jesus.
So that's 20.
That's 20. That's 20 hitters.
But there's believe it or not, there's more. It's humbling.
Oh, he's got Brad Williams now.
It's humbling. It's like there's Brad Williams. It's like there's
It's incredible.
And to work with Jay Mohr for 30 years, and I just did his hour special and Packing for Rehab. We just finished shooting it, and that was that's incredible to work with somebody. By the way, I don't mind saying this. I work with him. He would say this. He was an addict. He is an addict. And at his worst time, he fired me. And that was traumatic because I'd been working with him for about 25, 27 years. And then after he got sober and had an intervention, we talked again, and I met with him and also with his wife, Jeannie Buss, and started working again. And you know what's funny?
That's beautiful.
But you know what's funny about certain comedians, and I say this because he's on that Funny You Should Ask show with you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you'll find comical, and some people might find comical, and Jay might, if he were sitting here, he might hit me. So when I start working with him again, as a manager, your job essentially is the artist puts his list or her list together, and your job is to check off the things on the list.
Yeah.
And then you add new things to the list.
Barry, no one does this. This is why it's so hard, because there's only one of you. But I have questions.
Please.
I don't want to cut you off.
You're not.
But
no,
I have questions.
No, please.
How many of those clients, this is not, tell me if you want to punch me. How many do you still work with?
Out of all those, maybe one, Jay.
Just Jay.
Yeah, I've been fired and hired more times than I can imagine. I've worked with people for, the Gaffigan was another one I didn't know.
It's insane.
I've worked with people like for instance, Jay Mohr, 30 years, Dane Cook, 17 years, Frank Caliendo, 11 years, Whitney Cummings, 7, Louis C.K., 8,
And
Chappelle, 9. Like,
I think you're still cool with everyone.
I love them. And I talk to them a lot, and it's I don't talk to all of them a lot, but I am cool with them because let's face it, Jamie. Like, look.
Business is tiny.
Let's say if I represented you from the beginning, and let's say you stopped working with me after 12 years, and I was given the choice to go back in time, and I can either manage you and go through all that amazing stuff and get my walking papers, or I can not manage you. I'm going to manage you every time. What do you think? I'm not going to manage Chappelle for 9 years? I mean, I'm not going to manage Bill Burr for 7 or 8 years. Of course I am. The thing about our business that I think is a lot of people don't understand, because an artist and a manager a lot of times would say, it's like a marriage. A great manager client relationship is like a marriage. And it's not like a marriage. A marriage is 50-50. A manager and artist is 90-10. So when you start the relationship, there's a cracked foundation already, because you're starting in a position where you're not even nowhere near looking eye to eye. The artist is always has more, and they always can take you out at any time because they can. They're 90-10. There's no way around it. So the managers that I respect tremendously are the ones like, that represented Robin Williams, for 40 years, and Billy Crystal and Bernie Brillstein represented Lorne for like 35 years. This is like, it's hard to do. And yes, I've gotten the shit kicked out of me a lot of times, people would say, but I'm still smiling because I love the business. I love managing. You know how they say for an artist, you want to walk on stage and know that there's no doubt. And I have no doubt I could work with anybody. And if we both put the attention to detail and are malleable together, that I know that there's no way I'm not going to add value to somebody's life. However, this is the last thing. My biggest strength is my biggest weakness, in my opinion. And that is, as you know, and you've known since you first met me, I love doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love managing artists. I love making a difference. But I also love producing movies. I'm doing one coming up with Kirk Fox, who I represent for probably 14 years. I love producing television shows. I love creating television shows. I love consulting. I was a consultant for Cirque du Soleil for 3 years to help them find comedians for the first time for their shows. I love consulting with artists secretly, and there's a lot of them who I'm their secret weapon. I love being a secret weapon. There's a blueprint program I have with 1,000 young comedians in it, who I do office hours every Monday, and they can talk to me and do whatever. And there's different
And they pay for that.
Yes.
But what about, you say you consult with artists, you give them career advice?
Oh yeah, you can't. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
there's.
So you love doing that. Okay, keep going. I don't want to cut you off.
No, and so I love doing my podcast, Industry Standard. I love, I get to interview Ted Sarandos and Kevin Hart and Bill Burr and you, and I've interviewed 25 network presidents. It's like and you can give something back to the community. I love that. I just did something for the first time. I never did it before. I never thought to do it. I was at the Stand in New York about a month ago, and I was just at the end of the bar, and it was like, what happens. It happens to you. You're sitting at the end of the bar, and there's like a parade of people that come up to you because our business is an accessible business. And I thought, I'm looking at that room that they have upstairs, and as they're talking to me, I'm thinking, God, I've never done a workshop. I wonder if I did a workshop here. I just talk to these people, and I do it. And so I called the club, and I said, I'm coming back to New York, and I'd love to do it. They said, that's only 12 days from now. I said, it's okay. Just put it up. They're like, Barry, there's nobody's going to come. It's only got 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
I said, just whatever. And I just put it up, and completely sold out at 12 noon on a Saturday.
Wow.
And I got to talk to these young comedians and make a difference. And it was just, I don't know, it was just really inspiring. But
so your strength is your weakness. So
yeah, I'll tell you why. Because let's say I represent you, Jamie.
Yeah.
And okay. And you say, how's your weekend going? It's going good. I just interviewed Ted Sarandos, the president of Netflix. Oh, really? Did you talk about me? No. Well, he was doing the interview. Well, did you pitch my special? Well, I was just doing the interview. Well, am I going to have a meeting with him? Is he doing my podcast?
Oh, boy.
And so you can. If artists don't accept the fact that I want to try to make a difference out there and do things, then I am going to get my ass handed to me.
Well, what you're saying is you do a lot of things in time management. And even though you are hands-on from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. the next day, like you are everywhere, I see you everywhere, that some people might feel because you do other things.
Yeah, I do, and like I said, you're a 10%er. You're a 10%er. You're not in control. An artist can just say, "Hey, I'm moving on another direction." But many of the people that I work with didn't even hire other managers.
I know. I know that you legendary you used to get stuff faxed to you.
Yes,
You get fired by fax.
I get fired by fax. I get fired by text. I get fired by FedEx.
You get fired by FedEx. These are great.
I've been fired.
People would send you FedEx letters to fire you.
And I've been fired in person.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most honorable.
And people, there's a lot of tears.
I know. I have to say something that's in my brain that you said.
Please.
I wrote a letter to CAA, and I had my management company and CAA, and I have that email somewhere, and I broke down my acting career, my TV career, my producing career, my one-night career. Oh, God, I could tell you this. Every agent, this is what you're not talking about. Shout out Jackie Miller.
Jackie Miller, the one who moved away from L.A. and books personal appearances. That Jackie Miller?
Yes.
Yes. I you know what?
She lives in, I don't know, Nebraska.
I have to say one thing about her. And
Irving Arthur.
I have so much respect for Jackie Miller, even though I never had a great relationship with her one way or the other. But a person who said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out of here. You want me? I'm great. If you want to hire me, I'm doing it from Nebraska.
Yeah. Listen, she always believed in me, was sweet, literally always on the phone. Eventually, when I went to CAA, they said, just have us do everything. And, that.
Irvin Arthur had that office,
100%.
That circular office there.
Everyone who got her coffee, I could tell you people who got her coffee, the people that were interns that got her coffee getters coffee, all run this business. Every single agency has one of those guys that came out underneath Jackie. She was the OG. So, and I had plans at one point, my agent, I'm not going to name names, although I'm very close to doing it. He said, this is a good weekend. Look what I did. I got me 25 for the club, 25 for the college, and then, oh man, somebody fell out of EA games. Can you do their breakfast, lunch? 25. And he goes, 75 for the weekend. Not bad. And that's amazing. So I was starting to build. Social media was happening. And I wrote in this thing to CAA, my opus, that I can't wait to get to 50 grand a night. Because at one point, Jeff Ross, me, Bob Saget, I made $35,000 for the middle. I'm sure Jeff probably made whatever. He was opening $25,000, and I'm sure Bob made $60,000. Okay, so those numbers weren't that crazy. Now they're what I call gifts because it's what you can get out of the 19-year-old college girl who has that fun. You know that game. It's not like I sold the tickets, but I was making so much money in colleges. When I said I wanted to make 50 grand a night, the other agent called. My other agent goes, "Is this guy crazy? What's he talking about?" And it really bummed me out. And I could see the social media. I could see how MySpace was moving tickets. I was seeing what Dane was doing. I was like, this is what it is, one-on-one, connecting to the fans. So I have so much to talk to you, but I want to just say this. The idea of you write this beautiful list and Santa comes and helps you fulfill it is not real, Barry. You're the only guy. Now, I've never worked with you, and we've always been around each other and always cool. We laugh.
Always loved you.
Always, I love you back. And you've represented most of this town, and you're a legendary figure. You are a legendary figure. And so, I don't know what your relationships are with people, but you hear stuff, and they hear stuff about them, and everybody we all have crazy shit. I don't hear anything crazy, but I'm just saying it's like everyone who has their working relationships. So, but I do believe you care about artists more than most people. And these agencies, Triad, these are the only words that you'll get. Triad, ICM, and someone else left and formed UTA.
Yes.
And you guys don't understand. These were big players, but smaller. And then they formed this crazy agency of UTA, which took a lot of people like me. That was one of my first agencies after APA. APA is obviously Danny Robinson, who's an amazing cultivator of talent. But like, you know, they had Ben Stiller, Seth Rogen, Jack Black, you know, myself, Jason, you know, just many people that were odd and made us stars. So my point is that agencies became too big because you thought an agent would just take care of you. Then management companies became worse than agencies.
They became big.
And they have, I call the hive. They all get a salary, which is not good for our business. They all at the end somebody brings in $5 million. They say, "What's your bonus? We'll figure it out." Where you, if somebody made $5 million, you're getting $500,000 and producing credit, whatever. And everyone took these salaries, and it killed the hustler, which you are. You're a New York street, loafer wearing, pounding the pavement, headshot carrying motherfucker. Get in there. Do that impression. Get in there. Do your funny five. And so when that happened, the business ultimately got screwed up when that's chopped because everyone had to fight for the dinner. I think your manager should be as hungry as you. I think your manager should be as broke as you. When I went into an office at CBS a few years ago, I'll never forget this, and the woman I was in there, very sweet woman, very powerful in this business, half of the meeting was her figuring out if she could get her kid in this perfect preschool. When executives are making $300,000 a year and their problems are that, it's done. So I agree with everything you said in the first part, but you have to remember all these extraneous circumstances. But yes, creating is creating and getting the audience to see it. You can do that. But I just want to let you know that I've done these lists. I've done this stuff. And these guys a lot of them don't care, bro.
Yeah, well.
You understand that? I want you to take that in. A lot of them do not fucking care.
Okay, so if somebody doesn't care or doesn't align with you, look,
And then I got to comment on what's going on. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Just give me a quick answer on that one.
Yeah, when somebody doesn't align with you,
you go to the next one.
You go to the next one.
You
have that right. It's like dry cleaners.
I know.
You don't like the dry cleaner, you go to the dry cleaner. Look, I
agree with you, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people that it's an infected thing.
But but sometimes
I love it. I love the business. I'm here doing it.
I know, but sometimes it's like, look, I mean,
I just want to get with the crowd. I don't care about the executives. I don't care about the agents. Well, but when you pointed this picture of like, sit with an artist and give me your wish list, that's not real.
Look, I remember.
Most don't do that. You have to admit that.
I do. I remember.
Thank you.
I remember Frank Caliendo, another one I represented.
Again, legend.
I worked with him on what my instinct would be for him to get a deal. The 5 minutes of fury, we called it. 50 impressions in 5 minutes. And I would send him into rooms to do that. And he came out from Wisconsin at the end of one day. He had I think he had like a $200,000 holding deal or something like that. I feel like it's just a question of recalibrating and readjusting. And look, if somebody ends up not working with me, you can't point to, what are you going to point to somebody like whoever, insert the name here. Look at the movies they did, the television, the money they made. I know I know what I did with their talent and my talent.
You are rare. I'm giving you your flowers. But to act like this town is full of yous is just not real.
But who cares?
I don't care.
All I care about is...
Can I finish?
Yes.
I don't care, but you're ignoring something called logjam. Okay? But what's crazy, and your client, Dane Cook, gets all the flowers for completely trailblazing social media. Okay, and changing the game. So he went direct to consumer, correct? So that changed the business forever. Gatekeepers got a reality check. But we've gone so far the other side now that I kind of miss some gatekeepers.
Listen,
so
let's look at
I got a question. Let's
look at his example. Okay, let's look at it as an example here. Okay. Just recently, something that I did within the past 2 years with somebody.
Okay. I haven't even got to my question.
Brad Williams.
Yeah.
Had done 3 specials that got on networks. Worked with him to produce this special. got the money down in New York City. It was like $81,000 to produce this special, which is in scheme of things,
Not a lot.
to do nothing. There were great people involved, and it was in New York at this beautiful theater. And he did 2 shows, so he got that money that helped pay for it, whatever. And I had sold 45 out of 46 hour specials in my career. Think about that.
Incredible.
Okay, 45 out of 46.
I'd like to know the one that didn't go.
The one that didn't go was a guy who was relatively unknown, but an extraordinarily great comic, and he had a great idea, and it just didn't go. It was Owen Smith.
Okay.
Who runs the Tracy Morgan Show.
He's
great,
awesome.
Great comedian. And he had the idea to shoot his special, the first special, with all iPhones. So we shot the whole special with 10 iPhones. He bought them one day and he returned them the next day.
Brilliant.
But it was shot in like the Santa Monica West Side Comedy Club, a small little space. And it didn't go. So Brad Williams' special, which was beautiful and incredible and wonderful, I was shocked it didn't sell. And it did sell to a little, I don't know what you call it, like Live Nation's version of like a paid platform for 3 months. So we got the money back. He got the money back. His agent had worked out something with this group, and we got the money back for him for the special. And now I helped him create the artwork for his logo, his YouTube channel. He didn't have a YouTube channel. I got a team together. I got a guy who had over 3 billion views on his YouTube channel, and built a YouTube channel, launched the special April 20th of 2 years ago, okay? And in the first year, 8 million people watched that special. And his theater business went from, maybe he was doing, he quadrupled or quintupled his business.
I'm going to tell you what he was doing. He was doing in the club in Connecticut, Mohegan Sun. What is that club called? Because I would do it. And then he was there the week before, and maybe he was selling out 3 of 5.
That's what I'm telling you.
But he was selling out some shows. And so that was a club of 280.
And then he moved into millions and millions and millions of dollars in revenue in theaters because he didn't care. Yeah, he cared. He was disappointed that he couldn't sell the special, or I couldn't sell it, or whatever. Yeah, it's disappointing. But then he created a YouTube channel. He never had a YouTube channel, and put this special on, and it changed his business forever, his life forever. No gatekeepers, no nobody, just him.
He's doing, what, 2,500 a night?
You mean 2,500 seaters?
People, yeah.
Sometimes 3,000. Sometimes there's less or whatever. But the point is that millions of dollars instead of what was before. And that doesn't mean it's going to stay like that. If you're listening, and Jamie knows this, our business is cyclical. Not very few comedians just keep rising and stay at the top or whatever. You have to ride these ups and downs because fans, they love you. But then, they've loved it. They'd have enjoyed it like an album. And now let's see the new artist and let's enjoy the new artist. And if you only have so much money, then it takes a lot to keep rising and rising. And you have to understand that that's the way the business is. And as long as you can go into a room and people know you and they love you, you can always build upon it.
Okay. You just said something. I'm shooting Bowfinger. You need to take that?
No, I just want to make sure.
I'm shooting Bowfinger. And
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin says to me, and I want to stay on what we're talking about. He talks to Frank, and he says,
Frank Oz.
Yeah. He says, I was the 70s, Eddie was the 80s, Jim is the 90s. It's pretty much, and that's correct. Like ruling comedy. Steve Martin, I think, was the first ever to sell out an arena. Eddie was second. Dice is third. I think Dane was fourth. And to Dane, if you're watching this, Bob Saget called me and said, dude, Dane just sold out the TD Garden. And I said, what? I want to say it's like 32,000 or something crazy. Or maybe it's, I don't know. It was something like that. And I go, what? And he goes, 2 shows. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, he's treating it like a Friday night. Like an 8 and a 10:30 at a club. He sold out 2 shows at the Garden. And I was like, what? It was insane. And Bob was genuinely in awe. And I was in awe and humbled in awe that he was telling me this and calling me. So, I mean, that is a moment of cultural landscape, shifting of the business, everything. It was incredible.
Like, I think a week later, we did 2 shows at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure. And then I want to say, like, I think some people started trick. I think Chris Rock sold them out, and Sebastian. What I'm saying is, there probably last week were 6 comedians that sold out arenas. How insane is that to you? How insane is that to you? And how different is comedy? And I want to say this to you because you'll get it, and I don't think people understand it. When I would try to go in, Mark Linnell, Michael Rappaport's stepfather, one of the owners of the Improv, they would sign up a month before to get your 3 minutes, and he would evaluate you like you do me. Well, this is good. This is beautiful. Mark did care. He was a tough dude, but he cared. He would say, this is what you got to work on. I would go in, and after I had audition, Seinfeld would be talking to Mario Joyner. Roseanne Barr would be eating a salad. Ellen would be at the bar. And George Lopez would be running his Tonight Show set. And I can't even remember the rest of the people that were up and coming at that point. Like Sarah Silverman was like a Please Allow. Like, that's who I would see on the reg. But it was a community. I only looked at open micers. I never talked to middlers. I never talked to hosts. I never talked to headliners. It was a different level. And that's what you did. You never did it. And, you know, I just never did. And I still don't. I respect people's green rooms, all this stuff. But I knew everyone in the business. Where are we at?
Well, where are we at? Well, first of all, where we're at with Jamie's saying, it's incredible to me that he is as successful as he is without utilizing the community that comedy is. Because what's truly extraordinary about comedy, if Dave Chappelle is in the hallway of the Comedy Store and a young comedian just does a 3-minute set on potluck and comes out of the room, they can walk right up to Dave and say, hey, Dave, great to see you. So much respect for you. Listen, I was wondering, you know, I just did my setup there and it really went really well, but the last joke didn't go well, and I feel kind of shitty about it. And Dave would take the time with that person and really spend time with them. Can you imagine, like, Mick Jagger leaning up against a rock club wall and a young musician coming up? It doesn't happen. So there's this incredible community that you grew up with and you still are a part of, and people love, you know, and it's and the thing I wanted to say to you before I answered this about the business, I was back when we didn't get to it, I was talking to Jay Mohr about his goals when I put the list together. And I said, listen, I'm working with you again. I'd love to know what your bucket list is, what you want to do. So could you let me know? This is what he says. This is why all artists are so, you know, you never know. This is a guy, Jay Mohr, for if your audience doesn't know, he's worked with 18 Academy Award-winning actors and 19 Golden Globe winners. Okay? And this is what he says to me. I really want to do 3 things.
I think I
in
know
no
this.
particular order. I'd love to do Hollywood Squares. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? You want to do Hollywood Squares? Why do you want to do? He said, Barry, get me Hollywood Squares. It's a great community thing. It's a great gig. I want to have fun. All right, what else do you want? Well, mostly I want to do Funny You Should Ask. I said, Jay, there's 6 chairs. Somebody has to like die to get in there or ask for whatever. He said, please, I really want to do it. I said, that's not an acting gig. That's not a movie. It's like, it's just such a fun gig. It's such a camaraderie. I want to be around the comedians.
He's right.
And those shows, just so everybody knows who's listening, they don't do anything for a comedian's career. Maybe they might get them a sponsorship gig here. Maybe they might get them another panel thing. Maybe
Don't
they
say
might
that.
Get them a quarter gig. I'm just saying they're not. Let me rephrase.
Gotta rephrase that.
Out of all the things that there are to do for a comedian on film and television,
You're saying that
those are the shows that have the least amount of impact on you becoming a film star, a television star, it's just that's not what they're looking for. They're, Antoine Fuqua, who you work with, is not looking to cast a new movie with the guy who's the third square on Hollywood Squares for The Secret Square. That's not what he's looking for.
Get to the third thing.
The third thing was The Masked Singer.
Okay, now let me answer for Jay. He's done so much. He's done a million things. He's worked with everybody. Jay told me this. I'm gonna update your list for you. Jay, he went like this because he's the chair behind me, and he kind of nudges me. And I said, he goes, you know what I want to do, Jamie? He goes, I fucking love this job. I said, dude, it's the best, right? He goes, yes. He goes, I want to do this show. I want to do Hollywood Squares. I want to do my 10 minutes at Comedy Magic. And maybe I'll do some improv spots. I think he literally said that's what he wants to do. He wants to enjoy his life. And that's okay. But he told me that he wants to do spots at Comedy Magic. I said, I think you got that. So, listen, everyone has their own path. But it is really funny that you said that. But you have to remember he's doing this for 40 years. He's been doing this since he's 15 years old. The question I have for you is that there's so many comedians now. And I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial, but it shouldn't be. If everyone's special, Barry.
If everyone's special, what?
Finish the statement.
Oh, if everyone's special.
Nobody's special. There's only one Angelina Jolie.
Well, first of all, I feel like, honestly, it's exactly the same as it's always been. It's just a different... just listen to me for a second. There's always been shitty comedians.
I'm not saying they're shitty.
Just hear me out.
All right.
There's always been shitty comedians who get more attention than brilliant comedians. There's always brilliant comedians who get more attention than shitty comedians. There's always people who rise through the ranks who people are like, wow, I get that. And there's other people who rise through the ranks who are like, how the fuck did that happen? There's always people who get a television series and you're like, why the fuck did that person get a television series? And then another person who didn't, and you're like, I can't believe it. There's people who have had their own television series, been on late night shows, who are driving Ubers now, and there are people that are in tremendous situations. And so I'm going to answer it this way. Nobody gives a fuck, Jamie, what anybody else is doing. Who cares what anybody else is doing? I think the biggest symptom of the problem today is because with so many different people doing so many different things, comedians get in their own head, and doubt is the greatest dream killer. It's just awful. And so people have these things, well, this is the way the business is now, and how do you feel about this, and what do you think about Kill Tony, and can you what do you think about the Savannah Bananas and Bert Kreischer working that? And what do you think about Jelly Roll working with the Josh Adam Myers and the goddamn Comedy Jam? And what about Earthquake and his radio show? What do you think about that? And Kevin Hart, funny as fuck. What, isn't that the last comic standing of the thing? No one cares what I think or you. It's what you think about yourself and what you think about your career. And so this is what bothers me most about what's different about today. I think more comedians are just so in their head about, how am I going to do this? This is that. This isn't available to me. I can't do it. How come this happened for this person? Why does this person not book me? You know, it's like, who cares? I was just interviewing a wonderful young comedian who I think is really on the rise, Erica Rhodes.
Amazing.
Great voice.
She's risen.
Great voice, great material, tremendous. You know, but again, you know, it's a process.
She's paid her dues more than anyone.
Yeah, but she told me that one of the things that she loves about New York is the Comedy Cellar, and she hasn't cracked it yet. And that's a goal for every comic who's in the business, is to be able to crack working at one of the greatest establishments in the history of the world. And then it's easy if you're anybody from the outside. If I'm a comedian and I'm inside the sausage factory, it's easy to feel great about things. Mm-hmm. But when you're outside the sausage factory, it's like, what, you know, how did they get inside? And so I would say this to any comic about the business: just keep your head down and do the work, because if you'll oblige me, you know, being from New England, Tom Brady was always somebody that I looked at and I loved and I watched and I was amazed. And 9 Super Bowls, and I think 3 of the 3 that he lost, he
10.
actually 10, whatever. The 3 that he lost, or the 3 that he lost.
3 lost.
Yeah. He won the game with 2 minutes left, and the team, he was on the bench when they lost the game, so it wasn't even his fault when
Eli beat him in the last minute and 2, which could have been his, but Nick the Stick beat him legit.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is that I'm watching this guy, I'm studying this guy, I love this guy. I'm watching only like literally a fraction, maybe 1% of the effort that this guy puts into his football career. I can't see all the planning and the strategy that he's putting in to be great. All I see is what I see on stage. That's on that gridiron. Seinfeld, when I've seen him, and I've seen him hundreds of times, I've never seen him have a problem. I've never seen him have a heckler. But then I saw this clip where this Palestinian group interrupted his show, and I thought, oh my God, how's he going to handle that? How did he handle it? He fucking obliterated them.
Yeah.
How did he do it? He did it because he's been training in these rooms his whole life for these moments when anything can happen. And so for every artist, like for you, you're thinking a lot, and a lot of other comics are thinking a lot about, oh, there's gatekeepers and there's this and that, and the business isn't. I know, but the business isn't the same.
I want to comment on what you're saying, because I love what you're saying. When you go, I'm with you. I agree with you. Just Burr said it perfectly. There's a great clip. Some girl goes, "Do you think it's blah blah blah? There's more women that should be in the show that are gluten free and lesbian?" And Burr's like, "Be undeniable."
Yeah, that's my favorite quote.
That's it.
If you're undeniable,
he goes,
you
"Be
can't
undeniable." He goes, He doesn't care about your gender, your whatever. He goes, just be undeniable. That I live by that. He's 100,000% correct.
Yeah, people shit
be
on
undeniable.
me. People shit on me all the time because I always say if you're undeniable, you can't be denied. But the thing,
I wasn't saying that. That wasn't the question.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to cut you off. Okay, but say it.
Cut me off.
No, they're going to holler at me. What I'm saying is there more comedians now more than ever?
There's more comedians than ever, but there's also more comedians who can sell big arenas more than ever. And so that excites, a crowd draws a crowd. So when there's only one Dane Cook in the 2000s selling out NBA arenas, the crowd doesn't attract a crowd as much as 20 selling out NBA arenas.
So
you've been to the Comedy Store lately? You did the other night.
I know.
There's like 200 people in the outside bar. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, they're waiting to be drawn out of a hat.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how do they get drawn? They buy a drink and then they put in the hat. They buy extra drinks. Oh, so you have to buy extra drinks to get your...
Listen, what I'm saying is this, is that you tell me when you are with me or against me on this. Comedians ask me all the time, how do you do it? How do you do this? I'm going to say some things that only you will really understand. Bill Cosby, a name you can't say anymore, was from Philly. He was a great student at Temple. 25 years old, he was paying $1 a day to take a shower. And he was a host at a club called The Bitter End. Look it up. And him and William Shatner, totally different careers, said, you will never do it, it will do you. And Bill Cosby had many career before his other career, his multiple careers, if you know what I'm saying, is that he just said he was overtaken. That's why I had to do comedy. And so that's what entertainment, what it's been for me, acting, comedy. I don't do it. It does me. You're possessed. John Lennon woke up in the middle of the night to wrote Imagine. Couldn't stop. So you get possessed by these things. So people ask me, what do you do? I say, it's totally different. It's great that there are no gatekeepers. It's annoying that there are no gatekeepers because there are a lot of people. It's such a community, which I do love, but there's a lot of people that don't understand the history of people, the respect, the boundaries of what people have done and how they process things and how they want to do stuff. But I will say this. If you're a comedian, and this goes for me or anyone, I tell everyone, build, that's like you did with Brad. Get your YouTube up, get your social medias up, use it, and build your audience. And when you start selling tickets, any club will take you because they want the money. Now, there are clubs that say, I'll book a internet act that doesn't have 20 minutes yet on Monday because I still want to be the club on Friday. But I even think that's changing because of the revenue. You agree with this or disagree?
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but at the end of the day, every comedian that's a real comedian.
Yes, that's the term I wanted to hear you say.
Wants to leave a legacy. And to leave a legacy, you have to create a hit song. You have to have the lyrics and the composition. Like we talked about, George Carlin, 7 words you don't say on television. Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, the 2,000-year-old man. Jim Jeffries, the gun control bit.
Mm-hmm.
And most comics are concentrating on just getting enough time to feature or to do whatever they can do in there. And I truly believe that comedians need to look at their act as if it's a home. And let's just work on renovating the bathroom and getting the bathroom perfect, the way we like it designed. And then let's go and do the kitchen. And then let's do the master bathroom. And let's do the living room. But comedians are just so obsessed with getting as much time so they can clip more and do more and whatever. And I think Earthquake said it best. I interviewed him, and he said something to the effect of, comedians should stop worrying about how many followers they have and worry about who they can follow.
Ooh. Oh, that is beyond poetry. Wow.
Yeah, and so when I see a comedian, what excites me is when I see a premise that's highly original. When I see phrases and words that are funny that I never heard before together. And when I hear a punchline where I just couldn't see it going in that way. And to me, like, for you or any comedian at any level, the only way we're ever going to rise is if we write lyrics that move people, that people can't, they look at them like, wow, this is great. Let me show somebody this. Let me show somebody that. Let me go see this guy and hopefully he'll do that bit, or this woman, let her do this. And yes, there's clean comedians who are incredible, but there's nothing wrong with if your lane is blue and dirty humor. Look, if that's your lane and that's what you do, great. Just do it in a smart way. I remember Whitney Cummings' one of her first jokes, and I loved this. It was a blue joke.
I love that you say the word blue.
She said, guys come up to me all the time. They say, listen, marriage, Whitney, marriage, I want to get married. Marriage is like prison. Marriage is like prison. And Whitney looks at them and says, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. Because in marriage, I'm sorry. She says, no, it isn't, because in prison you get to have anal sex.
I've never heard that joke.
A clean, dirty, brilliant joke.
Brilliant.
I'm sorry, a dirty, brilliant joke. I'm sorry.
No, that's a clean joke.
Well, it was clean.
Brilliant joke that is about something dirty but clean.
Yeah.
That could have been done on TV.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Like, how do you... And we've all seen, and Jamie, you too, and everybody in your audience has seen a comedian who you've laughed your ass off, who does stuff. When Brad Williams first started, he was doing pulling a woman out from the audience and doing a lap dance for her, getting a standing ovation. Yeah, that's great. You're getting a standing ovation. It's your closer. But eventually, as an artist, you have to realize, hey, I don't think that's going to take me to the promised land. My words are going to take me to the promised land. My concepts, my stories, my real life experiences, and how I wax the poetry of it. That's why people are going to love me and follow me. Now, there are exceptions, because...
I'm listening, and I hate to cut you off.
No, please cut me off.
Because what I said about... Paul Rodriguez was on here, and I love Paul. And Paul used to drive Richard Pryor and work the parking lot with Jim Carrey. I mean, every one of the valets, every doorman.
Tony Hinchcliffe was a valet.
100%. So what I'm saying is all of this stuff, every comic you knew, either they made it or they fell off, or some of them are known and they're brilliant and never made it, or some get crazy or whatever. What I'm trying to say is there's so many comedians now, and I fault Instagram because I saw this woman. I just want your take on this. That's all I want. I saw this woman, and she posted from the toe. You know what the toe is? Chateau. Deep in Hollywood. North Hollywood. And she goes, and she did a very interactive post, and she said, guys, I'm at my second open mic ever, and I didn't know I had to bring people, and she's complaining about a bringer show. And I don't know if I'm going to get time and all this stuff. Second open mic ever. Tons of interaction. On her bio, comedian. That is wild. That is so different than what you've done. Obviously, Cream's always going to rise to the top. Maybe she's just trying it out for public speaking, or maybe she wants to be a comedian. I don't know. And maybe in 6 months, she'll sell out an arena. I have no idea. Do you think comedy has so much now that it's just, there's a lot of noise? Because you want to make that legacy bit. Or no?
No, listen, no, and I'll just say this.
Beautiful.
I'll just say
Good
this
for
about
you.
say this about you.
Okay.
When you started, there were many more actors than there were comedians. Yet Jamie Kennedy, this young guy with no experience, no Juilliard training, no nothing, has the fucking balls to get an agent and go into a room and book jobs over me? I'm a fucking trained actor. How dare him? Hey, listen, podcast host, what do you think? Are there too many actors in the business?
Listen.
No, there aren't. It's the bottom line is make a noise that's so loud, as Dane would say, Hollywood or anybody has to listen. Fuck people up. Who cares how many? I don't care if there's 20,000 more comedians that are added to the fray. And as an actor, I don't care if there's 20,000 more actors. If you go into a room and fuck them up, it doesn't matter. If you're the cream of the crop, who cares?
I love that answer. And that's a big answer coming from you because you work with the best. You're right. I just respect everything so much. I respect the people, the art. When I got my first job, I never told people I was an actor. I was doing a play at the Gardner stages behind Toy, and I got written up in Variety. It wasn't the best review, and people were like, "You're an actor?" Where I was busting tables. I go, "Yeah." They go, "Why didn't you tell me?" I go, "Because everyone says they are." And when somebody saw me on Ellen, I had someone call me and they go, I can't believe you got a job. Why didn't you tell us? I go, because everyone says they are. So I respect it. I never say it. I would say I'm trying. But most of the time, I would just say I'm a busboy. So that just annoys me with the enable.
Stop.
Okay, I just thought you would be like, all right.
No, I am, but it's like you're feeding the fucking machine. People who think, oh, this annoys me, this is bad, I can't believe, are there too many comedians? Get it. Fucking do a biopsy of the brain and just concentrate on you being the most extraordinary artist there is in the world, and nobody will give a fuck. Do you think Howard Stern? Do you think? Listen,
yes, I do actually.
All right.
Yeah, he does.
Listen, here's something for you.
You're
in your
right.
audience that's gonna totally shut me off.
You are a friend to anyone.
This is gonna shut people off. I have no dog in this fight, and I didn't vote for this person. Donald Trump.
Trumpy.
Donald Trump.
You love Trump.
No, but I'm saying is...
you knew Trump in New York.
No, this is what I love. I'll tell you the one thing I love that I wish that all comedians had. This guy walks out of the house every day. Everyone hates him. Every sketch show, every monologue, every news story, except for one network, hates this guy. Everywhere he goes, people dislike him.
Like him over here.
Okay? Everywhere he goes. Okay? Yet he has fucking blinders on, and it's like it means nothing. It's like Mike Tyson said, most people have a plan until they get punched in the fucking face. Okay, Mike Tyson, if the Buster Douglas fight had no time limit and no rules, he would have won the fight because he would have kept getting up and kept punching because he had one goal: eliminate, exterminate his opponent. Comedy is the fucking Hunger Games. It's Squid Game. Get in there, figure out a way to fucking beat your competition, but don't let them know you're trying to beat them. Don't let them get in your head. Just fucking go in and eliminate the competition, and then everybody be looking up at you. And that's what I want from this business for comedians. And if Trump has one quality, and I don't know how many he has, and it's none of my, am I going to lose my income tax?
Come on, it's okay,
but the point is he has nothing phases this guy. It's like insanity. It's like, can you imagine Jamie, if you and I walked out of the house and had as many people hate us as they hate this guy, and whether it's deserving or not, the fact is we'd be lying in the fetal position, reevaluating our life.
100%.
He gets up every day and it doesn't affect him. And I think that's something that comedians need to have. They need to have a thick skin, and they need to just concentrate on how they're going to be the best person, and so that when they go in those clubs and there's 10 comedians on, that they are the best. The busboy, the bartender, the waitresses, the comedians that hate them all would say, fuck, I got to hand it to him. He was the best tonight. Do that 10 times in a row. Get a fucking helmet because it's all over. It's all over. People be chasing you like your ass is on fire.
That's what I love, bro. No, because what you're saying is how I was raised. Comedians didn't talk. It was 90s NBA, and that's the argument about the NBA today. Everybody's buddies, and then when they lose, they make so much money, they vacation together. Where comedy was kill or be killed, and that's the way it should be, and I want it to be, and it's beautiful that there is a community, but there should. I love what you're saying. You've got me so crazy, like to go out and fucking destroy. You know what's great is there's this wonderful show called Horribly Funny. This guy's amazing. He books this show in the main room. He does it every couple Thursdays, and he's now letting me just close it. And he says, "You want to come close?" And he pays nice. He pays people different levels, whatever. I don't care. He pays me nice. There was on this show was Marin, Burr, Whitney, Craig Robinson, Bobby, Jeff Dye, everybody. So many people. And I went on, and I still had a really good set. And I'm like, either this crowd is incredible, or I'm really growing. And I just, you're right. This is hyping me up in a weird way, and I wasn't planning on having a cheerleader session because we don't do enough of that. We don't do enough. As you get older and you question things, it's different. But you should want to be the funniest person on that stage for the night, correct?
Think about this, and the audience as well, if comics are listening. Just think about this. You're a young comedian, Jamie. Mm-hmm. You know those showcases in New York, you go on, there's 10 comedians on. If I take all 10 of the comedians aside at any given night on a showcase, and I put them in separate rooms, and I go up to each one of them, I say, tonight, do you want to be number 1 or do you want to be number 10? Out of all 10 of them, what are they going to say?
Obviously, number 1.
Okay, but that night, at the end of the night, there's going to be one that's number 1, one that's number 8, one that's number 6, one that's number 3, one that's number 10, one that's number 9. Every fucking night on a comedy show, somebody's number 1 and somebody's number 10. And who do you want to fucking be? I think they want to be number 1. And so, you know, when somebody says, I had a good set, you know, I had a good set, you know, it's like, you know, whatever. You can have a good set. But if you kill 10 times in a row in your home club and everybody knows that you're the best, it's over. It's over. And the fact that you're going on in that horrible, what's it called? Horribly funny. And you're going on with those people. Show me who you're with, and I'll show you who you are. And so you're getting to be, you are blessed to be on a show like that.
You're right.
You are blessed. And those people might be trying out new material or doing whatever, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you're going on last. That's arguably the toughest spot other than first on that show. Tough spot. They've seen a lot of comedy. They're
amazing.
And
3.5 hours.
But the thing is that for any comic to know is that a lot of comedians, they're looking for that show where, oh, that crowd was hot. It was incredible. I mean, every joke fucking killed. Those shows are like Hollywood Squares. They mean nothing to your career. You go on in a room that's tough and you turn them around. You go on in rooms where there's a heckler and you change the face of the room and you set it up and you're killing. That means something for your career because that's the work you're putting in. When the crowd is easy, it's like, who cares? The thing that you're doing at the end of that show, I love you and I have enormous respect for you. But when you're telling me that you're going on at the end after 3.5 hours and you're accepting that gig, that tells me that you're a different person than you described yourself as about an hour ago. because that person who goes on at the end of the night after those people, has to have that feeling inside like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go on here and fucking crush these people.
That's a good thing.
It's fantastic.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I do it because I get more time and I can work out some stuff.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so you like that.
Yeah.
Would you say, as a comedian, more than I thought this was my biggest problem, what you pointed out more. I hate to say this, Barry, but I don't want to bomb.
Oh, there's...
But bombing is part of it.
Yeah, but I think that...
And how do you bomb and just accept it?
Okay, so there's different ways to bomb and accept it, which are exciting, because now the way comedy is, there's things that the audiences now are accepting of. The audiences are now accepting of the star going on and saying, hey, listen, I just want you to know I wrote some stuff in the past week, and I thank you for being here, and I'm just going to press record and just and let's go for it, and we're working this out together, and we're together doing this, and I'm grateful for you, and let's have fun together, and some things may work, some things may not work, and whatever. You can do it that way if you have the psychology in your mind, like, I don't want to bomb. That way, if you bomb, then it's explained and it's okay. But the other side is, if you really have the power and confidence in you, you're going to get through it. And even if you bomb at the end, you can say at the end, listen, thank you so much for being here with me and letting me try out that material. This is what comedy's all about. This is how routines become great, because of great audiences like you sitting through and working through something like this. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
But when you're on a lineup of 16 hitters, you got to keep up.
Well, I'm not saying to do it there.
But it's hard to do material now because every show is recorded. I don't know where the gyms are anymore. Do you agree that everything...
There's plenty of gyms for you to work in.
Okay. But you agree, though, that like every stage is getting hot.
Yeah, you have to, you're in a situation where...
Expectations.
This is the thing about... comedians are like, and actors too, they're just like the stock market. There's, let's just say actors or comedian, whatever. There's ones whose stock is falling. Okay? It's falling fast. There's ones that they're sort of treading water. They could go either way. They could fall, they could go back up again or whatever. And there's the ones that are rising. Okay, right? Would you agree with that?
1,000%.
Now, there's one thing in there that I didn't really put in for a purpose. There's the person whose maybe stock is low, but they've done so many great things in their career that if they're given the opportunity, they're going to hit it out of the park. They're just not getting all the opportunities. So there's that subheading in there. The person whose stock is low is not going to get the call. Okay? The person who's treading water could get the call, but they're not going to do just anything because there's a chance they could really rise from there. The person who's rising isn't going to take the call for just anything because they're already rising. They're at the top. But the person who's worked with the greats, and no matter whether their career is this, or this, they have a huge advantage over everybody else, even if things aren't going their way. Because the person who does decide to cast that person knows that, hey, if these 10 auteurs have rallied around this guy, then if I rally around him, I'm making a great decision. Remember Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction? people that he put in that. And, you know, you can't, talent doesn't die. What dies is maximum effort. And when you're a comedian, when you're a manager, it's not as true. But when you're a comedian or an actor, maximum effort never fucking stabs you in the back. And if you work harder and smarter than everybody else out there, it's never going to stab you in the back. Now, as a manager, it can because, you know, like I said, there's an imbalance. But as a comedian, I can guarantee you, if it's like AA, tomorrow, if you just woke up at the crack of dawn and every waking hour you're working on your world domination strategy with a manager, going over everything, I mean, I don't see how you're going to worry about anything in the world because you're already at one of the, you know, 1%ers of people in the business that have done everything. I was, you know, for your audience, Jamie did something for me that's still one of the greatest.
Me, Jamie?
Yes, one of the greatest moments of my life that somebody ever had confidence of with me as a young manager producer. He already had his producers for the Jamie Kennedy experiment, Fax and Adam. He already had managers. He already had agents. But he invited me to the pilot presentation. He invited me to watch and to make notes and to talk to him about it. And I sat there with him and Fax and Adam, and I couldn't believe how gracious they were and how much they listened. And how it just made me feel like I belonged even when I didn't belong. And I think it's valid.
You had great thoughts.
And I think it's valid, Kyle, for me to tell this one story that you're connected to with me. It's one of my greatest management stories ever. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm representing Nick Swartz, and Nick Swartz and I loved, but Dave Becky represented him when he was a teenager. He saw him and he signed with Dave and not me. Or I even got a chance to. And then he comes in my office one day and he's sort of like emotional. And I'm like, what's wrong? It's my birthday. I'm like, yeah, congratulations. Happy birthday. No. I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong? Dave Becky took me out to lunch for my birthday and he fired me. He let me go. I said, don't worry about it. I'll represent you right now. I love you, and don't worry. We'll just make a seamless transition, and we'll work together. Really? Yeah, I love you, Nick. He said, can I come in here? I'm working on something this week, and can I come into your office on the weekend? And I said, sure, I'll come in on the weekend. He comes in with his backpack. He drops his backpack, and he pulls out a spiral notebook. And I'm like, what's that? He says, I got to fax this to Jamie Kennedy. I said, okay, well, I got the fax machine. What do you got there? And he opens up the spiral notebook, and he has written the entire screenplay of Malibu's Most Wanted by hand in a spiral notebook. And he's ripping out the pages. And you know that shit that comes off a spiral note? My floor is covered with all this stuff. And I've got the, you know, the paper cutter that would kill a fucking horse, you know, from the Godfather movie, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm doing this thing and I'm faxing it to you. And it was called Suckaz, Suckaz. And he faxed it to you, and you loved it, and you worked with him, and he ended up doing the movie. And that's one of the greatest stories of my life. You know, it's like crazy, like somebody handwriting at 19 or whatever it was, a screenplay and it was and keep in mind, you know, a spiral notebook, there's no, like, it was flawless. There didn't even seem to be any crossouts. It was unbelievable. I don't even know how he did it.
It's his genius. I opened up. I did the Tempe Improv, and it was him, me, and Heath Heitch.
Mm-hmm. Prop comic.
Yeah, I hate when people say that. He's just a comic, but
No, but he had tremendous props and
humongous props.
And this is another thing about you that your audience should know.
Yes.
In his career, for some reason, never afraid to follow a guy who's very hard to follow.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to. Why, do you have an example?
Oh my God, there's so many, but of the others, but Jay Mohr used to have Ralphie May open up for him, and I'd be like, dude, he just got a standing ovation again. What are you doing? He's like, Barry, I don't want a fucking tomato can to open up for me. I want to work hard. I want somebody pushing me.
That's what you have to do to become great. Just on the side note, I think Tom Segura said this to me once. He goes, remember that show in Irvine? And it was, Ian Bagg, I think, said it. And Ian said, I was hosting, Tom Segura was middling, Jim Gaffigan was headlining, and then you were a special guest. And I did that a couple of times. Like, I mean, that's a pretty wild lineup. And so, but yeah, I mean, that's how you would say you got to do that. So I agree. You should go buy the hardest, but file the hardest. Tempe Improv, by the way, greatest club. And I do the show, and Nick tells me, I think I have an idea for your rapper character. And I said, yeah. And he goes, you want to do it in a movie? I said, yeah, but I can never figure it out. And he says, all right. And he said, meet me at Einstein Bagels. So we went to Einstein Bagels right there in that little shopping center in Tempe. And we started chopping it up, talking about it. Rest is history. That's why I bought my first house that summer. I had my little guest house. He would come over. Nick enjoyed beer. You know, I gave him some beer. He'd write some pages. Then I said, this is so good. I started paying him. The rest was history. So that goes full circle to what we're saying. If you build it, they will come. Listen, I love you, buddy. I could talk to you for hours.
I love you,
Please
man.
come back.
Oh, that would be an honor.
Please come back. I mean, you are our Yoda. Is that okay to say that?
Yeah, I feel like Johnny Carson on the couch inviting somebody to come over.
Stop it.
No, but I am grateful to you, and I know I talk to your audience as I'm talking to you, but
I love it.
What's happened with you and how you're putting your life together here is really something to really behold. This is truly like the dream, to create, like Prince used to say, the greatest gift is to take something from nothing and to make something. And you essentially in the beginning of your career, you had like $1 and a dream.
Mm-hmm.
You had no formal training, no stand-up training. Yet you figure out a way to navigate and beat people who were more skilled, more experienced, smarter, might have better routines, might have better acting chops, but you always knew how to walk into a room and, like a psychic, know what the room wanted. And that's a skill set that I admire so much, and like I said, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Words are so sweet, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Anyone's talking, they're blockers. That's not why I came to Hollywood. Fucking backwards. Bullshit.
I hate to break it to you.